It's a reason why you're here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get the latest topics, the latest news that the Mental Note comes out with. My brother and I, Austin Scott, we're going to give you the mental perspective of sports. This is something different, but I think it's something that'll be good for you. I'm Marcus Smith II, and this is my Mental Note. Man, what is your mental note with this? What is your take on this? Is it really a wash with the Cowboys?
Hey, the Cowboys are going nowhere fast, man. Nowhere fast. And Dak is 11 touchdowns to 8 interceptions on the year. He's he's under Trevor Lawrence for passing yards. The Cowboys are 3-6. So I mean, like I said, they are going downhill and they're going nowhere. They're going nowhere fast. This year is a wash. It is definitely a wash. America's team has not shown much this year. There was, Super Bowl aspirations on the year, and they came out and they're doing nothing. CD Lamb was supposed to be, one of the top guys in the league. That was supposed to be, a 5,000 yard quarterback, and they came out with no running game. And when you don't have no running game, that passing game is. I mean, you'll pass the ball in the game, but majority of the time you're only passing the ball because of the game script. You're down, and they've been passing the ball, and Dak has gotten a lot of his yards at the end of games, like fourth quarter comebacks or trying to have a fourth quarter comeback. So yeah, it's a wash, man. So you just get prepared for next year. They're bringing in the backup Trey Lance. I think they should go with Trey Lance over Cooper Rush because he actually, even though Cooper played a little bit last year, Trey, I think Trey has some more of a skill set to that you would put back there and see what he can do with this team.
How long are they going to keep this going? When you look at this, it's been going on each and every year. It's like, oh, we're going to make the playoffs. Oh, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. It's America's team.
It's
It's like my
America's
boy
team,
Cam Newton
man.
said. Is it really America's team? Come on. You got to really be winning. Make America great again, right? We have those slogans. We're trying to do all those things, but the Cowboys is not winning. And if you look at the sideline and you look at Dak Prescott, they said we suck, right? So I think Dak was already checked out anyway. It was a relief for him when you really look at it because
Yeah.
he got to the point where tore his hamstring, he has to get surgery. He doesn't even have to worry about this year anymore. He could collect his check and get ready for the next year. Yeah, it's a wash, but that's going to be more strain, a more mental barrier that he's going to have to cross when he gets to the next year. He's going to have to do so much better, exceedingly and abundantly better than he
Yeah.
did this previous year, right? And you talking about the money aspect. Sometimes I feel like they set guys up for failure on purpose. That's how I feel sometimes because when you pay guys, right, I give them that money. That first year they get that money, and then you start seeing production start to fade, right? Why do guys that get paid, their production starts to fade all of a sudden? Right. And I think that has to do with upstairs. That has to do with the organization. Then you look in the locker room like nobody knows what's going on. We just know that we're losing. So mentally, that really takes a toll on everybody in the locker room. And nobody likes to lose, especially Michael Parsons. And you got Michael Parsons really giving how he feels and giving an honest opinion on how he
Honest.
feels.
Contracts are outside, there's of course going to be questions. What's the sentiment inside the locker room, and what do you tell people who are wondering about whether Mike will be your coach next year?
That's above my pay grade about if Mike is coaching again next year. Um, but all coaching aside, coaching, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants. But guys, I kind of feel bad for guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year on their way out. Because that's who I wanted to hold the trophy for. You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So those are the kind of guys that I have so much sympathy and hurt for.
Wow. You can see the feelings. He ain't feeling the coach. He ain't feeling nothing that's
but
going
he
on.
knows how the business works. Mike will, after this year, Mike will probably be gone, and he know Mike will eventually find another job. But as he was saying, guys like Zach Martin, which may be his last year, he wanted to host that trophy with Zach Martin, the guys that put in so much work for America's team. Zach been doing it for a while now. And some of those guys that maybe, could be here their last year, or they could be headed on to another team because of how the salary caps work. So, they had aspirations on making it to the big stage, and they won't be even nowhere near close to it. They'll be one of the bottom teams in the league. They're fighting for a draft pick at this point. I'm not sure how their draft situation works out, but at this point, you taking the season and you going for the best draft pick you can get. You try to make it, a situation where you can get the best guy at the best position for your team at this point, because those later rounds that you looking for a guy, you may be able to get a good draft pick this year with that because your team is doing so bad.
Yeah, it's like what Swagoo said. You have to go get free agents. That's what you're gonna have to do. Jerry Jones, you're gonna have to go pay some people to come in if you want to win. But I don't know
You got to
if
get
he
a
really
running back.
want to win. He has to get a running back. Bro, when we talk about Derrick Henry, you could have got Derrick Henry. Everybody talks about that, but now he's with the Ravens, and the Ravens have a really good shot to go deep in the playoffs and go win a Super Bowl, right? But him not going to get Derrick Henry shows you that he wasn't really planning on winning. You couldn't have been. You couldn't have been planning on winning in the way that you know that you could if you knew that your identity is running the football. And how does that open up everything else that you want to do? Okay, Dak, we know he's good, but passing that many times a game, it really doesn't help the situation. It doesn't really help anything. They really
But
wasn't winning.
that's that situation that everybody look at with running backs. You always feel like you can always find a running back. You always can find a running back, but that guy is not always there. You can find a guy to run the ball, but a guy like Derrick Henry that's scoring touchdowns every game, leading the league, and don't quote me, but I think it's rushing. I know it's touchdowns, and it's probably yards per game at running back. And they said, they didn't want to spend the money on him because he's getting older. But hey, the guy's producing, man. And Baltimore is looking real good with him. So Jerry Jones should have took that risk because Derek wanted to play for the Cowboys, and he said he didn't even reach out to him. So Jerry, Jerry,
Jerry's world.
Jerry's
I
world,
think
man.
the Cowboys have checked out. I definitely think this season is a watch, but it sucks because the season is not over. So you're gonna have guys who come in the building who know the season is over. So what is their mentality now? Right? They just ready for the off season. Right? They ready to get to that point. It's gonna be a long season for them. It's gonna be a long season for them. Cowboys very, very disappointed in the way that this season went. I felt like that y'all team could have been a lot better than what you guys are showing. But I do feel like it comes from upstairs first. It starts upstairs, then it trickles down to the coaches and then to the players. There's a lot of bickering, a lot of arguing. I remember Michael Parsons, arguing with some of his teammates on the sideline. It's just not a good showing for what you want a team to look like.
So what
So
happens when
very
you
disappointed.
frustrated, man? That frustration is sprues out. You know what I'm saying? After a while, you can't hide it. Yeah, you just
Right.
no one likes losing. So
Yeah.
when it happens, man, sometimes you can't control yourself. And these are grown men that taking care of their family, and a lot of them take care of their family by winning. So
Well, let's see. Let's see how they do in the rest of the year. Let's see if they tuck their tail and run, or they strap up their bootstraps and
finish
keep
the
it
year
pushing.
strong.
Yeah, man. Like I'm hoping that Trey Lance come in and revamp his career somehow and show people who he is, right? I'm always the guy in the underdog story, right? Because when people write you off, it doesn't feel good. So I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for the Cowboys in a way to pick it up, right? As players, because obviously I was a player. So disappointing, but can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? Mental note. This is the mental note. Got my dog Austin Scott. Oh yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Please, man, so you can get the notifications when we do put new content out. Because we're gonna start putting out a lot more content and to start doing a lot more reactions. So hey, we right where we need to be. We'll talk to y'all soon. We out.